doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about a thing that is decidedly American, right? These guys were part of a vaudeville troupe. Said vaudeville troupe had 2 core members, and the third guy was always rotating in and out. And this game kind of focuses on the most popular of that trio. The game was originally released in 1987 on the Commodore Amiga. It was developed and published by Cinemaware. Cinemaware was really good for making really good looking games on computer platforms. A lot of their stuff on the NES though never really translated well. It tried, but their stuff was graphic intensive and those graphics did not translate great to the NES. And so yeah, Activision published this thing in 1989, and while it looks good, it doesn't necessarily do what we need it to do. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the Three Stooges. Alright, so in the Three Stooges game, Curly, Larry, and Moe, on the title screen, you see the charm of those characters, right? They walk up onto the Ghostbusters 2 title screen and start talking about how they're in the wrong game and this looks like a kid's game and blah blah blah, right? Well, then the game starts. You get to the title screen, you see this really good looking interpretation of a title card from an old Three Stooges short. Then you go to the actual game, and the Stooges are trying to raise money to save Ma's orphanage. The orphanage is behind on rent, and this building is in a state of immense disrepair. So you gotta try to raise money to fix the building and to keep them in the building. They achieve this by getting a bunch of odd jobs. From Curly being a boxer and needing to hear Pop Goes the Weasel in order to win his fights, and Larry's violin breaks, so he has to run and get a replacement before the fights end. There is a cracker eating contest, and Curly is trying to get the crackers out of the soup before the oysters get them. There's a pie eating contest thing. I mean, no, it's not even a pie eating contest. It's a pie throwing thing, because the Stooges are waiters, and rich people on the other side of the room start talking crazy to them about wanting their pies. There's a thing where they're trying to get medical supplies running through a hospital. There's a quiz thing where you answer trivia to get money. You can find money walking up and down the street. There's a lot of different ways to get what you need to win this game. The controls are janky in a bunch of spots though. It tries though. It's a good looking game and it tries, and you can't fault it for trying. I just feel like Cinemaware dropped the ball mightily here, because with the look of the game is pretty fantastic. It's just that there's not a whole lot of game here. You can honestly, if you do these different odd jobs enough and you find enough money laying around the street, you can beat this pretty quick. But yeah, it doesn't control great, and the sound, while some of the stuff that you hear in the game works, especially some of those vocal samples, outside of that stuff though, the game just is pretty, and has moments where it sounds good. But the music as a whole is sparse and the gameplay is kind of stiff. But yeah, they tried. They really, really tried. And in looks, the Three Stooges succeeds mightily. Everything else, not so much. But yeah, if you decide you want to get yourself a copy of the Three Stooges, about $15 will get that done for you. It's not an expensive game. It's not a hard to find game. For some reason, this game is wildly plentiful. I think a lot of people bought this game because their kid saw it and was like, "Hey, I remember that from. I remember watching that early in the morning." Or mom and dad see it and they're like, "We remember watching this when we were kids." And it's just a bunch of blah. I mean, it looks good, but it did not play good at all. But this has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow. Behold the worst thing to ever bear Keanu Reeves' likeness.